Good morning and welcome to today's video from Yoker Evangelical Church. It's Friday the 29th of May and this morning we read Deuteronomy chapter 2 and Psalms 83 and 84. And today I'd like to take a quick look at Psalm 84. Well, here is a psalm that is all about hope. It shows us where we should have our hope and why. And as we start reading it, we are forced to ask the question, where is our hope in? Well, I think for many of us at the moment, we will see our hope most clearly in a longing for the day that lockdown is over. We long to see our family again. We long to go to church again, to see friends, to go out and do normal things like shop and go to restaurants. We look forward to these things and we have hope in the moment when we can do them. This psalm, though, shows us that we can have hope in something much greater, and that our hope ultimately is in God and in dwelling with Him. And this is important because that is a hope that we can truly rely on. The sad truth is that when lockdown ends, we will be excited at first. It will be great to see people, but that excitement will fade over time. And that as we again get used to seeing people and going out and doing things, our appreciation for them will decline. And eventually, the things that we were most looking forward to might become things that we avoid. That is not the case when we have hope in God. The psalm shows us that hope in Him will not be disappointed. That when we have hope in God, it is hope in a future that will always be exciting. Just listen to verse 4. Blessed are those who dwell in your house. They are ever praising you. This is an eternal hope. But we also have to ask, why? Why is this hope in God so good? Well, it is because God is better than anything else that the world has to offer. Our hope in Him is well placed because nothing else in the world can compete with knowing God and dwelling with Him. The psalmist puts this really well in verse 10. Just listen to what he says. Better is one day in your courts than 1,000 elsewhere. I would rather be a doorkeeper in the house of my God than dwell in the tents of the wicked. Psalmist there talks about 1,000 days. That's about 3 years. Now imagine for a minute that for 3 years you had everything you wanted. That for 3 years you were able to spend as much time with your family as you wanted, see all the friends you wanted, that you could have all the stuff that your heart desired. You could travel to all the best hotels. You could, every time anything got boring, you could have something new straight away. Imagine that went on for 3 whole years. Well, the psalmist says 1,000 days of that wouldn't be nearly as good as just one day dwelling with God. You see, as the psalmist thinks about dwelling with God, he sees that it is so much better than anything else that the world has to offer. And that it would even be better for him to be a doorkeeper, hanging out by the door of where God is, rather than being the centre of attention in the world. That is how much better it is to be with God than to have absolutely anything else. And so as we read this psalm, it shows us that God should be the one at the centre of our hope. Because other things will let us down. Other things will ultimately disappoint us, but when our hope is in God, that is a hope that will last forever. And our final thought, our reminder, our prayer for today comes in verse 12, where the psalmist simply says, Lord Almighty, blessed is the one who trusts in you. Lord Almighty, blessed is the one who trusts in you. That is our reminder for today. We can look forward to lockdown being over. We can look forward to all sorts of things. But those hopes should ultimately point us to the greater hope, that we can trust in the one from whom all blessings come. I hope you have a good day, and God bless.